The Gaza ceasefire remains fragile. 8 days after it was formally agreed, both Israel and Hamas continue to trade accusations of violations, from sporadic violence to disputes over aid delivery and the return of hostage bodies. Now, U.S. Vice President JD Vance is heading to Israel, tasked with reinforcing the shaky truce and advancing the next phase of President Donald Trump's 20-point peace plan.
Well, look, it's going to be complicated. I mean, the best case scenario, meaning if this thing absolutely produces that sustainable long-term peace that the president and I hope that it will, there are going to be fits and starts. There are going to be, Hamas is going to fire on Israel. Israel's going to have to respond, of course. There are going to be moments where you have people within Gaza where you're not quite sure what they're actually doing. So we think that it has the best chance for a sustainable peace. But even if it does that, it's going to have hills and valleys, and we're going to have to monitor the situation.
Vance's arrival on Tuesday marks Washington's latest attempt to stabilize Gaza. The U.S. is pressing both sides to commit to tougher concessions, including Hamas disarmament and steps toward a Palestinian state, key components of Trump's broader ceasefire framework. Vance's trip follows high-level meetings between Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, U.S. envoy Stephen Witkoff, and Jared Kushner. The talks focused on Gaza's post-war governance and regional security. Behind the scenes, U.S.-Israel ties have grown more complex. While Trump continues to back Israel's right to defend itself, sources close to the White House suggest a growing frustration with Netanyahu's approach, particularly over civilian casualties and slow progress in implementing the truce. At the same time, Qatar, one of the main mediators, has condemned what it called Israel's continuous violations of the ceasefire, warning that the agreement could collapse if the breaches persist.
نؤكد هنا إدانتنا لجميع الانتهاكات والممارسات الإسرائيلية في فلسطين، ولا سيما تحويل قطاع غزة إلى منطقة غير صالحة للحياة البشرية، ومواصلة خرق وقف إطلاق النار، وتوسيع الاستيطان في الضفة الغربية، ومساعي تهويد الحرم القدسي الشريف، مؤكدين أيضا على أن قطاع غزة جزءا لا يتجزأ من الأراضي الفلسطينية من الدولة الفلسطينية الموحدة.
In Cairo, Hamas representatives led by Khalil al-Hayya are holding talks with Egyptian and Qatari mediators. The discussions aim to consolidate the first phase of the truce and outline post-war arrangements for Gaza. Hamas has signaled openness to a technocratic Palestinian committee, one that would govern Gaza without direct Hamas participation, but with the group's consent. However, senior officials insist they expect to maintain a security role during an undefined transitional period, a stance Israel flatly rejects. Inside Gaza, aid deliveries have resumed through 2 Israeli-controlled crossings. UN and Palestinian officials say supplies are entering, but remain far below agreed levels. The Hamas-run media office described the flow as a drop in the ocean of what people need. Meanwhile, the process of returning hostage bodies continues. On Monday, Israel confirmed the recovery of 1 more body taken during Hamas's October 7th attacks. Around 15 remain in Gaza, with further returns expected in the coming days. Violence continues to flare near the so-called Yellow Line, the military pullback zone. Israel's public broadcaster reported that troops shot a man crossing the line on Tuesday. Bulldozers are now placing yellow concrete markers to clarify the boundary, but Palestinians say it remains unclear and dangerous to approach. As JD Vance lands in Israel, Washington's credibility is being tested. The U.S. seeks to hold together a ceasefire strained by mistrust, regional tension, and political fatigue. Whether this visit strengthens the truce or exposes deeper fractures could define the next chapter of the Gaza conflict.